I'm the lifestyle editor at Impakter. We're a platform dedicated to informing and empowering the public to live a sustainable lifestyle. So one way we do this is by talking to the founders of sustainable brands across different niches and needs. Today, I'm joined by Sashe Christopher. She's the founder of Pop My Way. It's a sustainable baby clothing brand that features mix and match baby essentials. So welcome, Sashe. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Clara.
Great. So you are a mother yourself. So I imagine much of the impetus for starting your own baby clothing brand came from your own personal experience.
I had quite a tricky pregnancy and birth with my daughter. And, coming home with her from the hospital and realizing that baby clothing was so fiddly and so hard to use, especially doing, I think it's something like 10 nappy changes a day with a newborn.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I just kind of thought about ways to make life easier for new parents.
Okay, and I can see that you have some products behind you. Can you show us maybe a little bit what you mean by this interchangeable mix and matching situation, just so people can see?
Sure. So a lot of the clothing out there at the moment is quite fiddly with poppers. So baby sleep suits and baby grows and things like that. There's a million buttons to do. And in the middle of the night, changing a nappy is a bit of a nightmare. So we've got a zippered sleep suit. So it's got a two-way zip. So it zips either from the top down or from the bottom up. So in countries like the UK where it's quite cold and you don't want to undress the baby completely, you want to keep their top half warm, you just basically zip up halfway and change your nappy quickly and they're done. The other great thing is this has fold over flaps on the hands and the feet. So you don't need separate mittens or socks. You can literally just tuck it over.
Amazing.
And
okay,
you've got a foot covered or a hand covered.
Socks tend to fall off a lot as well.
Yeah, it's great. Pop My Way clothing has hidden poppers in the shoulders so you can attach accessories. So something like a bib, you can just pop into the shoulders and it's attached easily.
Amazing.
There's other items as well, like little Peter Pan collars. So you can change the look of an outfit just by popping on a collar in a different color. We've got Peter Pan collars and bow tie collars as well. So this is a little bow tie, again with the hidden poppers in the shoulders. But the great thing is they come in 7 different pastel colors. So everything goes well together, everything coordinates, and you don't have to think about, changing an outfit and changing the whole outfit. You can just basically add pieces in. You can create multiple outfits from just a few pieces as well. So, trying to reduce the amount of clothing in a baby's wardrobe is quite important now. We get carried away by the cute factor with baby clothing and end up with too much clothing, and they grow so fast that you don't actually need that amount of clothing.
Yeah.
Another great thing that we have is trousers with pop-on socks. So babies are constantly losing their socks. You find them lost on the side of the road. When you do the washing and they get lost in the washing machine, I don't know where they disappear to, but there's always baby socks that are lost everywhere. So keeping these safe in the nappy bag, in the washing machine, and while they're wearing them is a great thing that makes life easier as well.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea. And I mean, like you mentioned, babies outgrow their clothes so quickly. So in a way, making a well kind of selected wardrobe of essentials that are mix and matchy and, very functional is a great idea.
Yeah, and the comfort as well is quite important. So babies, because they've got such sensitive skin, anything that's uncomfortable for them, so impurities in the fabric, with our cotton, it's hand harvested Pima cotton. So that means that there's no big industrial machines that come in, and it keeps the fabric quite pure and hypoallergenic. So you don't find any scratchy impurities. Everything is safety tested, and all our poppers are covered. All our zips on our sleep suits have a little flap on the top to keep them from, hurting the baby in any way. So it's a lot of things that, help them to sleep better if they're comfortable as well.
you've also introduced circularity into your business operations with Pop My Way Pre-Love. Can you talk to me a little bit about what that is, what that scheme is, and how it
sure.
works?
So, there's a lot of people out there still think that the price point of sustainable clothing is too high. So, something that we wanted to do is make sure that Pop My Way is accessible to a variety of different people. So having the clothing, having the scheme introduced for Pop My Way Pre-Love means that customers can return their clothing back to us. So they're no longer, if they no longer need it because it doesn't fit, or their baby's finished using it, and then a customer can purchase it at a reduced price from us. So it keeps the garments in circulation because of the Pima cotton as well. It's a very durable fabric, so it doesn't change shape, it doesn't pill, and stains remove quite easily. So with baby clothing, there's a lot of stains and things usually, but we found feedback from our customers has been that the stains have come out easily. So parents are not embarrassed to return the clothing or pass it on. And it's important as well that consumers recognize that you have to have your whole supply chain certified. It's not, you can't say that you're using GOTS certified organic cotton. So there's a lot of brands out there that are jumping on the sustainability bandwagon and mentioning GOTS. But if you see the logo, it's important to check whether they've got the license number underneath, as well as, who they're licensed by. So it might say something like Control Union with the license number or something like that. So if you see the logo, it should always have a license number underneath. That's something important.
Exactly. Interesting. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about you and your background. So you were in fashion for over 20 years. You worked in merchandising and as a buyer. So how has that experience lent itself to starting your own brand?
So it was all a learning process from the beginning with Pop My Way. And because it's me basically doing everything from scratch, it's new things that are coming on board all the time. Everything I do every day is a learning process.
Yeah, it is something that's slowly, but I think surely going to be happening. And especially in the fashion industry, which is, at least the fast fashion industry, one of the most ecologically damaging for the world. Did having a child and thinking about, did that make you think a little bit more about the future of the planet and sustainability? When did the shift come for you?
I was curious about where my daughter's clothes were produced, and she'd come up in rashes sometimes on her skin. And, we'd kept a food diary and tried to figure out whether it was something she was eating and then I realized maybe it's the clothing that she's wearing. When she wears a particular item of clothing, she ends up in a rash and there's no regulation or monitoring of chemicals that are being used even in children's clothing at the moment. So it's important that there's more transparency with things like that, especially with children. Parents check everything when they have a baby, from the ingredients in the food that they give them to, what nappies they use. But when it comes to clothing, those checks are not the same. They don't do the same due diligence with things like that. So, that made me curious, and just doing my research and trying to find factories and companies that do organic cotton, and then finding out more about the pesticides used when they plant the cotton. From all of those things, there's formaldehyde that's used, there's just a mix of chemicals as well. So it kind of scared me a little bit. And that's where I got the idea for Pop My Way to be sustainable from the very beginning.
Okay, so we spoke a little bit about everyone jumping kind of on the bandwagon for sustainability, but of course it's a learning process, and there's a lot yet that needs to be defined within sustainability in fashion itself, especially. So what are some of the key learnings from your own path to sustainability, and what do you anticipate will be some of the future challenges as there's more demand for sustainable fashion?
Yeah, if you want to be a sustainable brand from beginning to end, there's a lot of things that you have to, find out and check, and things like packaging. So for me, finding the right packaging was really challenging, because you want it to look beautiful if you're giving it to someone as a gift, especially with a baby gift. But then also you don't want to be, sending out too much packaging. You want to keep it to a minimum. So there were challenges with doing that. Getting a mailing bag to reduce the cost of shipping, because we ship worldwide. So customers that are in other countries don't want to spend a huge amount on shipping. So they wanted to have the option of a mailing bag, and trying to find something that was compostable, and good for the environment, but also was able to withstand heat if it was moved over to a hot country, for example, and was sitting in a post office for a few days. Or, it's important that all of those things are taken into account, and cultural, or country relevant weather patterns and handling issues and things. So there was a lot of learning to be done from that perspective.
I guess just to round off our conversation, where do you see Pop My Way in 5 years' time? Where would you like to see it?
So I think we want to be the essential baby clothing brand that parents, the go-to brand that parents come to rely on for durability and for practicality as well. So, and I think just keeping things going. So making parents return the clothing to us with Pop My Way pre-loved, and we have to make sure that our production isn't crazy either. So reducing the amount of clothing that we produce by having a return scheme and a take back scheme is, something that I think is the future. And hopefully the durability of the fabric means that baby clothing can change. This can change the mindsets of the way that parents think about how much clothing they need as well.
No, that's really important as well.
Do that through our brand.
Yeah, changing the mindset and just making do with less.
Yes, exactly. Quality over quantity.
Cool. Thank you so much, Sashe. It was a pleasure speaking to you. And you can find Pop My Way on eco.impakter.com, as well as a range of other sustainable brands.
Thanks so much,
Sashe.
Clara.
Thank you so much.